9 years ago, that was 2008, Sheryl Sandberg joined Facebook. 2008. Facebook had, and I checked these numbers again, 70 million users and 550 employees. The like button had not yet to be invented. Today, we just look at the figures right now, over 2 billion users around the world check Facebook every day. What's behind all that? We are very happy to have Sheryl Sandberg now with us here in Cologne. Ladies and gentlemen, live at the Dmexco, please welcome, with an enthusiastic applause, here is Sheryl Sandberg! Hey, watch your step.
Yes.
Careful.
Thank you. Woo! Hi, everyone. Thank you for that kind introduction, and I'm so happy to be here. I've never been here before, but I've watched this conference every year from my desk in Menlo Park, and I have to say, it's way better being here in person. Way more exciting. I'm also especially excited because I brought my 13-year-old niece, Maya, with me today, because I decided that being here was way more educational than another day in 8th grade, right? Welcome, Maya. As exciting as this conference is, we get together at a pretty challenging time for the world. People are afraid for their personal security, especially in light of recent events. We know that people around the world, as far off in Asia and in the United States, are suffering from the aftermath of natural disasters. The future of work is in question. Work is changing and evolving, and people are worried that digital work is leaving them behind as jobs change. And countries are turning inwards. So if you stand for openness and connection, as so many of us do, you can be worried that you're being left behind because your beliefs are being questioned. We are living through the fastest change in communications technology the world has ever seen. Let me ask you a question. Who has a smartphone with you today? Who's checked that smartphone in the last hour? Okay, be honest now. Who's checked that smartphone since I started speaking? I appreciate the honesty. Thank you. Radio took decades to reach 50 million people. TV took over a decade to reach 50 million people. Mobile took half a decade to reach 1 billion people. Half a decade to reach 1 billion. This year alone, 3.5 billion people are going to access the internet, and nearly 80% of those are going to do it from a mobile phone. Not all of whom will do it while I'm speaking. The global challenges we face and this shift in communications technology presents both difficulties and opportunities for all of us. There are no perfect answers. We know that not everything works for everyone. And there are no easy answers. We know that change will continue to challenge us. Yet even in the face of these challenges, I remain, like so many of you, a technologist and an optimist. And that's because I believe so deeply that technology is making the world a better place, that the future will be brighter than the past. I'll share just a few examples. Researchers at Stanford University in California, near where I live, have trained an algorithm to find skin cancer. An algorithm. They've looked at 130,000 images of skin disease, And they realized that this algorithm can perform as well in diagnosing skin cancer as dermatologists. They're in the testing phase, but they believe they'll be able to bring it to smartphones. And that means it will be possible to diagnose skin cancer in the developing world just with a mobile phone with the same efficacy rate as you could do at Stanford University. Pretty amazing. The Walk Again project in Brazil is using virtual reality with paraplegics. They've been able to recreate the connection between the brain and body and recover some muscle control in every patient they've studied, every single one. Some of them even are able to move their legs again. The promise of this, especially for someone who's lost the ability to walk, is mind-boggling. Last year in Berlin, I visited Kukala. They're a nonprofit formed here in this country to help refugees. Their founders, 2 women and an amazing man, they wanted to do something not just for refugees, but with them. So they started training newly arrived refugees to make and sell furniture and to market it online using Facebook and other services. The chair you see me holding there is made from the wood that came from a boat that one of them traveled to Germany on. And it now sits right outside my desk where I can look at it and remember their resilience every single day. Their goal is not just to help refugees survive, but build new skills and create new opportunities. And they use the profits from the furniture sales to support the new refugees as they come over. Technology and optimism. Because diagnosing skin cancer, because helping paraplegics walk, because forming nonprofits that can support refugees and then more refugees are just 3 examples of the many ways people are using technology to do good from all around the world. We come together here in this beautiful city to ask a question, and that's the theme of today's conference, which is, how do you discover growth? And I know that's the question that's on everyone's mind because that's why you're here. How can every business thrive, not just survive, but thrive in a world that's increasingly digital, mobile, and connected? I think it comes down to 3 things. These 3 things are incredibly easy to say, but incredibly hard to do. The first is focus on your mission. Every single person here is working with a company or a startup that started with a goal. Maybe it was to produce great products. Maybe it was to deliver great services, to bring new goods to market, to help more people. Everything you do should be tied to that mission because people are looking for brands and for companies that stand for something. As Facebook, our community reached 2 billion people around the world, we started thinking about our mission and the role we play in the world. Since Facebook began, we had a very clear and simple mission: make the world more open and connected by giving people the power to share. We're not done with that. There are billions of people who are yet to be connected, so many more connections we can make. But at 2 billion, we know it's not enough to just connect people. We need to make sure we bring people together to do good. And that's why Mark, our founder, rolled out a new mission this year, which is to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. Community, the place where we get better because of our relationships with other people, the place where we know we are not alone in whatever challenges we face, the place where we know that we are working together with the challenges the world has in a digital and mobile world to make things better, not just for ourselves, but for others. The size of our community gives us a real responsibility in everything we do. And we're really proud of the role our technology is playing in creating jobs. Over 300 million people globally are connected to a business in Germany alone. In a recent survey, 13% of the Mittelstand in Germany say that more than half their revenue is coming from Facebook. And these are not just technically savvy new businesses. These are largely traditional businesses. From the local furniture maker to the local plumber to a 1,000-year-old winery. Coming from a country that's not nearly 1,000 years old, that's impressive. And seeing a 1,000-year-old winery use digital and social media to drive their business is even more impressive. This is the true promise of the digital economic empowerment, and we know it can affect every kind of business. The companies here, you know that purpose can come from the jobs you create and the communities you support. At a time when people all around the world, in Germany, in the United States, everywhere, are worried about their economic future, these jobs are even more important. No one knows this better than Germany, home of the Mittelstand. The people in this room alone, have created hundreds of thousands of jobs. Raise your hand if your company has hired people in the last year. Keep your hand up if you will hire people in the next year. You will do that by focusing on your missions. Earlier this year in Berlin, I met Jutta Zetzet. She grew up on a small chicken farm in a small town of Weissville. And when she was just 21 years old, she took over this family business from her parents. She added a farm shop, a bakery, a cafe, and get this, a farm museum. I showed my 10-year-old daughter the pictures from this museum, and she said, "Mommy, this is the first museum I think I ever want to go to." Jutta's working in a really remote location, so she relies on social media to reach customers. And she now has 1,000 regular customers, and Sunday brunch at her museum's cafe is always packed. She's using Facebook and Instagram to find customers, and then she's booking reservations through WhatsApp. She also uses Facebook to find employees. Her company grew from 2 to 30 employees since they went digital, and they hired 10 people in the last year alone. And what's really exciting is that she's now taken her mission even further. She's holding workshops to help other rural businesses use the power of digital and mobile. Pretty amazing. The second key way to meet today's challenges and discover growth is to build community. Our relationships define us. We are all part of families and workplaces and the places where we live and the things we care about. And it's these communities that give us a sense of belonging, a sense of being part of something that's bigger and more important than just ourselves. This sense of belonging is the foundation of the human experience. Earlier today, I met Uwe Karsten, who started a fathers group in Germany on Facebook, where dads talk about the challenges in their everyday lives. One father posted and said he didn't have any toys to give his little girl, and that post got him hundreds of comments. But even more exciting, toys. Toys start arriving from all over Germany to that little girl, showing how when people can see the challenges each other face, they rise to those challenges. Businesses, like the oldest roaster shop in Cologne you see here, have been creating communities for a long time. But the way they do it is now evolving. Businesses still build communities in person, online, in coffee shops, on street corners in towns. But now, businesses build communities on websites as well, on review sites, on apps. Everyone here knows that your brand and the community around it matters more than ever. And this is one of the biggest challenges of the digital and social worlds. Because businesses are more accessible than ever, and because they're more accessible, there's more conversation around your brand. Our goal is to give you the tools to make building that community easier on Facebook than it's ever been before. The marketing funnel itself is collapsing. It used to take time to go from research to discovery to awareness all the way through a purchase. But now with digital and mobile, that's happening faster than ever. And that means that from the largest brand to the corner coffee shop to the smallest companies in the world to nonprofits, the way you work on your brand, the way you communicate who you are, has never been more important. For Christmas and New Year's, Doctors Without Borders rallied a global community using tools on Facebook. They created a video showing how they support migrants, and then they showed it on Facebook, and then they reached out to the people again who had showed interest in the video to enable them, ask them to donate. They then created a lookalike audience. So we showed more of their materials and more of their messages to people who were similar to other people who had donated, but had not yet donated. The result? Over a 6-year period, they raised enough money to vaccinate 680,000 children around the world. That's the kind of impact community can have. For anyone who's building community, we know that trust is the most important thing because it's the foundation of every community. This really matters to us, and we know it matters a lot to you. We take very seriously our responsibility to earn and maintain the trust of people and businesses. We hear your concerns about safe environments, about standards, about measurement, and this is critical to us. And we're working hard to roll things out that will give you more control over where your ads run and more knowledge about where your ads run before, during, and after campaigns. We're going to continue to invest in the tools you need so that you can build your community. The third key way people can meet challenges and discover growth is to communicate who you are. Because once you have a purpose, a mission, and once you have community, you have to engage that audience. You have to communicate what your mission is and what binds your community together. You need to drive the conversation around your products, around your services, and around your brand. Authenticity is so important. You all know that because when you see people's posts, people's pictures, there are people who do it in a really authentic way, and sometimes people don't, and you can tell the difference. With brands, that difference can be even more stark. We know that communicating authentically who you are, what you stand for, has never been more important, because that leads to the honest and authentic communication that builds community. People want to know what the brands they affiliate with, what they believe, who they really are. Companies like Dove can show us that purpose drives success. In 2004, Dove launched the Real Beauty campaign, and it changed the conversation for women. Rather than pitch-perfect airbrush models, these were real women having real conversations about the different shapes and forms that women take. And it touched the hearts of women and men all over the world because it helped women think about beauty differently. Earlier this year, Dove launched the My Beauty, My Say campaign in Germany, again showing women with different backgrounds and different body types, celebrating their definition of beauty, not someone else's definition of beauty, but theirs. This had an ad recall rate of almost 50%, which shows us what we already know, which is that authenticity matters. In a mobile world, creative still wins the day, because creative is so much more than just writing text or just writing copy. It's creating experiences that speak to people. We talk about it as thumb-stopping creative. When you're scrolling through your feed, what makes you pause? What makes you stop? What makes you think? And even when you don't pause, what makes you remember? We think of mobile as a canvas, and so many great people here and around the world are creating on that canvas to help businesses connect and tell stories. Increasingly, we're seeing people connecting through businesses through video. Because video on Facebook and Instagram is personal. It's an opportunity to tell your story and engage authentically. The barbershop you see behind me uses Facebook Live almost daily to broadcast haircuts. I used this the other day to convince my 12-year-old son that he needed a haircut, something he wasn't quite sure he actually needed to do. Not only do they show haircuts, but they give how-to classes for other barbers, and they put on a show for potential customers, so they know that getting your haircut isn't just a haircut, but it's also a lot of fun. From the newest startup to the local barbershop to the most established brand in the world, people are embracing mobile video. Airbnb has used new formats like video to showcase new products and communicate who they are. Last year, Airbnb launched a new feature called Experiences. You can enable yourself, people can book local experiences when they travel. Everything from ramen making in Japan to hiking the redwoods in California. They put out 6 different videos of different experiences around the world. Their CEO, Brian Chesky, announced this on Facebook Live, and the video aired over a 24-hour period. The videos were immersive, they were compelling, and they cut through the noise. They demonstrated how Airbnb could not just help you have a place to stay, but could give you an experience that made you feel like you were a local. They had great results: 22 points in ad recall, 7 points in favorability. We are passionate about creativity in ads, like I know so many people in this audience are. Because we know, like you do, that people's time and attention is precious. In a digital and mobile world, there are so many messages coming at people. And so our goal is to help you break through. We want our ads to be as good as the very best organic content your friends share. And that's our goal, ads as good as organic. This is good for people, and it's good for your business. We come together today to ask ourselves how to find growth in a digital world, in a mobile world, in a connected world. What we've seen all around the world is the businesses that are thriving are focusing on their mission, they're building community, and they're communicating who they are. Yes, there are risks to connecting, but the greater risk is missing out. We believe that by working together, we can all take the opportunity that is challenges, the opportunity that is mobile, and meet these challenges around the world. Not perfectly, because nothing's going to work for everyone, not in every instance. But when people are connected, when people use the power of technology, when people believe that things can get better, even in a challenging world, they will. Everyone in this audience sees what's possible when we work together, when we grow businesses, when we create jobs, when we build communities, and most importantly, when we connect to one another. Felipe Costa was born in a favela in São Paulo. He learned to code at a Facebook innovation lab. And 1 year later, he built an app that's helping people find public health centers. Today, he's studying computer science at a local university, and he's giving back by teaching technology to the people in his favela's community center. Felipe is why I remain optimistic about our future, especially when we work together. We are excited and honored to work with all of you. We fulfill our mission at Facebook by building community and bringing the world closer together, by helping you fulfill your missions to grow your business, communicate who you really are, build community, create jobs, and foster community. Thank you all, and we look forward to continuing our work together in the mobile and digital world.
It's yours. Sheryl Sandberg, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
You liked it here?
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, so good to have you. Sheryl Sandberg, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.